I'm Jamie Court, President of the Foundation for Taxpayer and Consumer Rights. Today, Chevron issued a profit report. And Chevron's the largest refiner in the state of California, the largest oil company in the West. It reported an astounding $17 billion in profits, which is 22% more than its profits last year. Back in the year 2003, Chevron recorded a world record profit of $7 billion. And every year since then, we have had world record profits over world record profits, and it's coming at the expense of California motorists and motorists in the West, as well as motorists across the nation. In California, though, we are paying 40 cents more per gallon today than motorists across America. And Chevron is taking that money to the bank. It's keeping it in the bank. It's not developing an alternative energy. It's simply turning out $17 billion profits. It's an astounding figure. The increase in profit by Chevron announced today is a 22% increase over last year, and that is bigger than any other profit increase year to year of any other major oil company. And that includes Exxon, that reported a $4.5 million a day profit yesterday. So Chevron is a smaller company. Overall, it may have a little less profits than Exxon, but it is a bigger increase in profits this year over last than any other company. Actually, about twice the 9% increase that Exxon had recorded yesterday. And California motorists are paying, unfortunately, because Chevron's also the biggest political contributor in Sacramento, in California. We are not seeing action by our state officials. And to just give you an idea of the size of Chevron's political patronage, Chevron's contributed $41 million. Chevron's contributed $41 million to ballot measures in 2005 and 2006. That is the biggest expenditure in this last election cycle, $41 million, largely fighting a refining tax that would fund alternative research, Prop 87. It's contributed over $700,000 to office holders in this last year. Chevron has. And it's also contributed $500,000 to political action committees. This is all state politics. It's given $500,000 to the political parties, to Democrats and Republicans. About $400,000 of that went to Republicans, and $100,000 went to Democrats. We need action out of Sacramento, and until that happens, we are going to continue to see hand-over-fist profits for Chevron and the other oil companies. What's so important about this profit report is it shows that Chevron can make profits at will. The $3 plus a gallon we were paying this summer was an unbelievable amount of price gouging in the West. And in the West, over the summer, we were charged more than 70 cents higher prices than across the rest of the nation. What we need now is congressional action. We need Speaker Pelosi to bring Chevron executives in, to bring Exxon executives in, and to ask the tough questions. If gasoline prices are really beyond the control of the companies, if they're really attributable to global market forces, then why is Chevron turning out $17 billion profits in 2006? Why is ExxonMobil turning out world record $40 billion profits in 2006? These are the questions we need asked, and it's particularly important because we saw in the last quarter, in the fourth quarter, the oil companies actually made a little less profits than they ordinarily would have, particularly on their domestic gasoline. And that was all about the election. In the month of October, leading up to the election, we saw a precipitous drop in gas prices and a precipitous drop in profits. And oil companies knew if they flooded the market with fuel, they made a little less money for a month, maybe we'd have a different leadership in Washington, D.C. For them. 86% of political contributions by oil companies go to Republicans. It was clear that they lowered gas prices precipitously for some reason in October, and the only reason it's obvious is because they wanted to influence the outcome of the election. Given the fact that they hedged their wrong bets, given the fact that we have new leadership in Washington, we need to see hearings. We need to see executives answer for exactly what degree of control over the gasoline prices they have. We need Chevron executives to answer the question why, if global market forces determine the price at the pump, did they make $17 billion in profits last year? It's Chevron that determines the price at the pump, and Californians are getting gouged. So we're calling on Speaker Pelosi to do this. The other very important part of this story is we have world record profits by the oil companies at the same time as we have the United Nations telling us that global climate change is irreversible at this point and is 90% likely to be caused by human circumstances. Exxon, which announced yesterday a $4.5 million a day profit, $40 billion a year, actually, according to the newspaper The Guardian in Britain, has put out a $10,000 bounty for any researcher who's willing to write a study contradicting this through the American Enterprise Institute, which it's given $1.6 million to, and the former chairman of Exxon is a leader of. So we are seeing oil companies making world record profits, not only at the expense of motorists and the economy, but at the expense of human life on Earth. These companies are literally taking money out of the economy. They're making restaurant owners pay more for deliveries. They're making school districts pay more money to take kids across school. They're hurting the taxpayers, the businesses. And today the UN says 90% likely that the petroleum economy, the fossil fuel economy, which they're profiting on, is killing the Earth and will kill the Earth sooner than anyone had imagined, or kill human life on Earth. It's time we stop this. It's time Speaker Pelosi hauled these oil companies before him and said, "What's going on? You've been just robbing the motorist blind. You're not acknowledging the effect of your products on the Earth. It's time to stop. It's time to force Chevron and Exxon to disclose every study that they have funded that says petroleum doesn't have an impact on the environment that's negative. It's time for the Speaker to say, look, we need to regulate the gas supply in this country to make sure there's ample supply, particularly of alternative fuels, to feed our economy. And with the price that American motorists are paying and the California motorists are paying, the price the Earth is paying, the time has come." Thank you.
Name and title?
Yeah, it's Jamie Court, Jamie.